Welcome to The Explainer. So, migration is obviously the subject of endless political headlines, but today we're taking a step back to look at the objective, structural realities of global movement. Migration gets treated like a simple talking point all the time, but at its core, it's actually this fascinating, deeply complex system. When just one single person decides to pack up their entire life and cross a border, it creates a massive ripple effect that alters economies, cultures, and demographics on a totally global scale. And today, we're going to map out exactly how those ripples spread.
All right, let's dive right into this. Today, we're looking at four main things: the human trade-off, the impact on the origin, the impact on the destination, and finally, the global balance. Before we really get going, here's a big question to keep in the back of your mind. Who actually pays the price? And who truly reaps the rewards of migration? Because as we're going to see, there is no simple answer here. It's essentially a massive system of shared trade-offs, where every single benefit on one side of the globe almost always comes with a hidden cost on the other. Section 1. The human trade-off. The migrant's personal journey. The draw to move is just incredibly powerful. We're talking the chance for a much better quality of life, higher wages, maybe learning a new language, or picking up brand new skills. But those rewards, they come with some serious friction. The sheer financial cost of moving can be absolutely staggering, and the physical journey itself is so often deeply hazardous, especially for undocumented migrants who face literally immense physical dangers just trying to cross a border. And look, surviving the actual journey is really just the beginning. There are all these hidden, lingering tolls. Psychologically speaking, the absolute heaviest cost a migrant faces is being separated from their family and friends. I mean, just imagine carrying that weight around every single day. Add to that the very real shock of a new culture, the deep difficulties of trying to assimilate into a totally foreign society, and a really stark risk of being exploited by unscrupulous employers who know these folks are vulnerable. So yes, the economic rewards are very real, but the personal burden they carry to get them, it's incredibly heavy. Part 2. Impact on the origin, the home country's macroeconomic reality. So when a massive wave of people leaves a place, what exactly happens to the country left behind? Well, it all starts with remittances. Simply put, this is the money that migrants transfer back to their families. But, don't let that simple definition fool you. These funds are a colossal macroeconomic force. In a lot of struggling nations, remittances actually exceed official foreign aid. They serve as a massive, direct tool for poverty alleviation, injecting capital directly into the hands of local communities. It's a huge deal. And this outflow of people, it does provide some genuine relief. It eases up unemployment and underemployment and takes a lot of the crushing pressure off struggling health and education services. But the cost is incredibly steep. When you have a massive exit of capable working-age folks, you're left with an aging population back home. And if the labor force drops too low, critical sectors really suffer. Like a drained labor force can trigger a severe decline in agricultural output, for example. So, yeah, the country gets a break on its infrastructure, but they pay for it by losing their essential workforce. This drain on labor actually has a specific damaging name you've probably heard: the brain drain effect. This is specifically the loss of young adult workers who have vital, highly specialized skills. It is a severe, severe depletion of a country's human resources. We're talking about losing doctors, nurses, engineers. The exact people a developing nation desperately needs to build its future are, ironically, the ones most capable of leaving for higher wages somewhere else. Now, I should mention, if these migrants eventually return home, they can bring back incredibly valuable new skills, new ideas, and capital. But as the data points out, there's a really complex social dynamic there too. Returning migrants might start questioning traditional values, which can sometimes stir up social divisions within their home communities. Moving on to part 3, impact on the destination, the receiving country's complex demands. Now, destination countries face a really fascinating dual reality. On the economic side, bringing in migrants increases the labor pool. That reduces labor costs for businesses and actually helps keep inflation low, though it can definitely create this perception of job competition among folks who already live there. Crucially, though, migrants fill massive skill gaps. Take the UK's National Health Service, for example. They rely heavily on foreign medical staff. And hey, notice the connection here? That reliance by the UK NHS is literally the exact cause of the brain drain effect we were just talking about with doctors and nurses leaving their origin countries. At the same time, this influx of people totally enriches cultural diversity, but it also puts heavy, heavy pressure on housing, which causes overcrowding, price hikes, and places a lot more demand on local health and education systems. To really understand why destination countries take on these growing pains, we've got to talk about the dependency ratio. This is simply the ratio of a population's dependents, meaning people who are either too young or too old to work, compared to the active, tax-paying working age population. You see, a lot of destination countries have heavily aging populations. So an influx of young migrants acts like a demographic rescue. It lowers that dependency ratio and slows down the rate of population aging, which is absolutely vital to keeping their economies afloat. But that demographic rescue definitely has physical limits. A constantly expanding population takes a negative toll on the environment and places severe compounding strain on the local housing supply. And finally, Part 4, the global balance, connecting the spheres.
If there is one crucial thing you take away from this explainer, let it be this. Migration is not some simple equation. It's this profound, incredibly complex web of interconnected global trade-offs. Think about it. The economic relief a home country gets from remittances, and that crucial demographic rescue a destination country gets. Both of those things are entirely built upon and inextricably tied to the deep personal sacrifices and actual physical hazards faced by the individual migrant. You just literally can't have one without the other. So we're kind of left staring at this massive systemic challenge. How can that delicate balance between the migrant, their home country, and their new destination ever be perfectly achieved? Is there a way to design policies that protect the individual, help sustain the developing nation, and stabilize the receiving economy all at the exact same time? It's a completely fascinating puzzle, and just understanding the mechanics we've mapped out today is the very first step to figuring it out. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep asking those big questions, and I'll catch you next time.